Hello, good afternoon, good morning to all of you, and welcome. Welcome also to our speakers of today. So first, welcome to Rupam Jain. Rupam is VP of Research, Connected Work, ICT at Frost Sullivan. She has over 2 decades of experiences in market analysis and strategic consultant with a specific focus on next generation collaboration technologies. From a industry perspective, Rupam has experience covering broad range of sectors and leveraging relationships with leading industry participants and senior executives in team collaboration workspaces, emerging collaboration technologies, video conferencing, web conferencing, and online events. So welcome, Rupam. And from Barco, we have Gauthier Renard. Gauthier is a passionate and seasoned product manager currently spearheading the ClickShare product line and proficient in product creation, vision, and strategy. So Gauthier has a strong focus on customer experience, digital products, and Gauthier is very well recognized for his out-of-the-box thinking and broad business acumen. So welcome to both speakers. But over to the topic of today. Barco ClickShare is extremely happy to share this exclusive thought leadership and insights on the trends and outlines for the future of workplace and also collaboration technology in particular. First, Rupan will kick off with the latest global trends for workplace modernization, and next, Gauthier will cover the top hybrid workplace investments priorities for IT managers. So I invite you to discover with me why user experience, flexibility, and sustainability are key for hybrid work. But before I give the word to Rupam, a small practical remark. We will be answering questions in the Q&A session. So if you have questions, please go to the Q&A session. We will reply to them during this webinar. So Rupam, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Yannick, for that introduction. And thanks for having me on this webinar. So today I'm going to discuss the major workplace transformation trends that we are seeing in 2024 and beyond, and how businesses are adapting to this new world of flexible workplace. So one thing we know, and that has become clear over the last couple of years especially, is that no matter what type of business you are or what size of business you are, there is a strong need today to rethink the workplace from the ground up. And this conversation is actually more than a technology conversation. It is also about employee centricity and sustainability, which have emerged as the key themes in the workplace. And this is indeed an outcome of the shift to hybrid work. So clearly, technology is fundamental to reshaping the future workplace. But the one big shift, one big change that we have seen over the last few years is the transition from a technology first to a people first strategy. And so the driving force is not just greater business efficiency or greater productivity. Businesses today are equally focused on fundamentally changing their culture to become more employee-centric organizations. And if you look at it, putting customer first has always been traditionally always been the driving force for businesses. But now creating a better employee experience has become equally important. So tied into that trend of creating a better employee experience is the second big theme that I've listed here, which is focused on modernizing the workplace. Last year, we saw that there was a big business focus on how to bring more employees back in the office. And this year, the focus is more on providing the best possible experience to employees when they do come back into the office. So we are clearly moving beyond the return to office debate. In other words, we are not debating whether we should be in the office or not. We know that the office is relevant. In fact, most organizations that we speak with have already decided what version of hybrid work will work best for their business, for their corporate culture. So just as a proof point, in our Frost & Sullivan surveys, we have seen 2 out of 3 organizations report that they have guidelines in place on the number of in-office days. They may be soft guidelines or mandates. There was also a very interesting stat that we got from a workplace survey that we did recently, where we found that in both cases, where there is a mandate and where there is none, employees are spending about 3 days in the office. So this is clearly pointing at the willingness of employees to be in a space, to be in an office that is conducive to drive collaboration, to drive teamwork and mentoring. And so office and workplace modernization is top of mind. And there is clearly a growing emphasis on redesigning the workplace from the ground up and also rethinking the meeting rooms where people meet to collaborate. And tied into all this is the third key theme, which is of leading with a flexible technology transformation. Business goals are work in progress. The shape of the workplace is still evolving. So aligning technology investments and technology transformation with the new ways of work. And the end goal, of course, is to keep employees engaged and to not put anyone, no matter where they work from, right, at a disadvantage. So as employees navigate different modalities, whether they are hybrid or deskless or remote, they should have that consistently superior work experience. And so if we move to the next slide, we see that IT decision makers are indeed aligned with these emerging workplace trends. So at Frost & Sullivan, we conduct several global surveys of IT decision makers and business leaders, and the results from these recent surveys are consistent with these transformational shifts. So when we ask businesses about the top ways they measure the success of their digital transformation strategy, employee retention ranked as the second most important priority, right after new customer acquisition. And more eye-opening was the fact that employee experience ranked at par, the same as improving customer satisfaction. So 85% of IT decision makers say that attracting the best talent is a key business priority. 84% consider improving employee engagement and satisfaction as a key initiative, and 74% report that reducing employee attrition or turnover is an important business goal. So all of this is clearly a big shift, a step change in priorities, which means businesses want to create better experience, and they are leading with the people first approach at the same time. One of the top challenges that we hear from business leaders is around workplace management. The way we work has changed, and that has clearly impacted real estate, physical office, meeting spaces. And so as we see here, investing in technologies that make the office experience better than working from home is a big initiative, because we know that the office today is more than a space where people will simply show up to get work done. So the one thing businesses should absolutely not be doing is sending employees back into the offices and meeting rooms from 4 or 5 years back. And so this really means creating that end-to-end compelling experience from the point the employees enter the office. So driving a better lobby experience, for example, a better cafeteria experience, or better experience at their desks and in meeting spaces. These are the key priorities. 95% of IT decision makers and business leaders in our survey said that they are making changes to their physical office space. 33%, or 1 in 3 businesses, are not only building more meeting rooms, but they're also building newer types of meeting spaces. So in the past, meeting spaces were primarily viewed as small, mid, or large. And now it is expanding to meeting rooms meeting spaces like phone booths, meeting pods for individual workers to have distraction-free meetings. We are also seeing many smaller spaces emerge, like focus rooms, jump spaces. These have come up where users can walk in for ad hoc collaboration in a small group setting. Lastly, we are seeing the evolution of flexible, modular shared spaces. Because hybrid work is still evolving, that flexibility allows businesses to remain agile with their layouts and use cases. Similarly, we are seeing that the focus has shifted from real estate reduction, and I'm sorry if we can go back to the previous slide. The focus has shifted from real estate reduction to real estate optimization. And we are seeing new workplace optimization software emerge that is helping IT, it's helping facilities and HR better understand how technology is being used. And they are getting actionable insights to plan their future investments. So workplace optimization is a big topic. It's a big theme. It's a holistic investment in a set of technologies across hardware and software and services. So audio, video devices, sensors, beacons, displays, kiosks that offer capabilities such as access to digital signage when you get into the office, in the lobby, in public spaces, displaying room maps and real-time availability of spaces, smart booking, wayfinding, all of these things to take the hassles out of finding the right space at the right time. And then, of course, real-time utilization and occupancy stats. And last but not the least, and this is important, I know Gautier is going to elaborate on this later in his presentation, is that this journey of office modernization is focused on sustainability now. It's focused on diversity, inclusion, engagement, and these are new business imperatives that are impacting workplace redesign. And so as we move to the next slide, we see that collaboration is becoming central to this workplace transformation initiative. We are seeing that the value of high quality audio video communications and easy content collaboration is just becoming deeply entrenched across the organization. But the reality is that most meeting rooms today are not video enabled, and this is changing. This is changing fast. 62% of the organizations we surveyed said that they are increasing investments in video conferencing. Only a very small 3% plan to decrease their investments. So in our forecast, we also expect that the penetration rate of video in meeting rooms will more than double. And it's important to note that there are newer types of camera devices and newer software that is emerging constantly, creating better, more equitable, engaging meeting experiences. So the end goal is to keep employees engaged, meet their expectations when they get back into the office, and not to put anyone at a disadvantage no matter where they work from. So that video-first transformation of business is a critical part of delivering a better employee experience. And as we move to the next slide, we see IT managers are playing a critical role in driving this transformation. Video is an expectation today. It's a must-have. 65% of the businesses we surveyed are already using video conferencing, and we know that most of it is actually driven by online meetings usage. But this evolution is also leading to more and more video in more meeting rooms. And as a result, the market has seen hyper acceleration in the pace of innovation. New products have been introduced with leading, modern, current, leading edge feature sets. And the market is sort of overcrowded now with technology options. So as customers, then the big question is, what makes one product better over others? And we believe that winning the features war will get a product or a solution only so far. It is the total experience of the technology, of the solution, that makes it a winner. And that's what business leaders and IT leaders are chasing. So what drives that great user experience and great IT experience? And I have listed here 5 fundamental requirements that IT must ensure when they are making investments in collaboration technologies. Simple, flexible, manageable, AI-driven, because that's the call of the day, and sustainable. And the goal should be to simplify technology for users, to get the complexity out of the way, and a primary focus on enhancing the lives of employees and customers. Prioritizing the user experience is literally the biggest driver of change. Additionally, allowing users to have the flexibility to choose what experience they want, and the collaboration platform of their choice in many cases. And lastly, leveraging the power of data, leveraging data extensively throughout your organization, integrating it throughout the workflows and processes for workplace optimization, for maximizing the return on investment by, pushing greater adoption and scalability. And if we move to the next slide, we see how intelligence, AI in particular, is becoming central to this conversation. We see how all of this technology transformation and creating better user experience is fundamentally going to be driven by AI in a big way. And AI has been a big topic for over a year now, right? In 2023, we saw greater awareness, early adoption, and in 2024, we expect AI to scale. Businesses are gaining better understanding of how they can implement AI across their workflows and specific to their use cases within their organization. And they're also demanding to see tangible and measurable benefits. And along those lines, we are seeing a very fast and furious development of features that are driving these intelligent meetings. And one of the top features that almost always comes up when we speak with customers on how they are using AI is meeting summaries and insights, that make meetings more effective. Smart framing, speaker tracking have been around for a while. And that took care of the classic meeting room issue where everyone used to see this bowling alley view. And there was a big need to have a better experience. And now we are seeing that people want to have, as they have free-flowing, multi-directional conversation in meeting spaces, they want the meeting to be able to capture the best video views for the remote participants and also the best experience for in-room participants. So AI is letting us move to that next level with multi-camera implementation, switching, and where video devices and software are picking up the best possible views and giving the best possible angle of each participant. And that's a huge leap. It breaks the barriers between in-person and hybrid experiences and drives more equitable and engaging meetings. Another exciting development is adding name labels, not just to video participants, but also identification of speakers and meeting transcripts. That's a big area, that's adding more context to every transcript. And, when we are online, every user has a name label under their video, but when we get into meeting rooms, users expect the same. So adding more context, adding identity to transcripts and to those video windows, speaker identification, that's another big development. Intelligent audio is fundamental to the success of any meeting. So things like noise cancellation, intelligent noise removal features, and lastly, seamless content sharing. And I know Gautier is going to elaborate on that from a Barco perspective, but collaboration today is truly multifaceted. As much as we are talking about video first experiences, it is essentially collaboration first, where it is intelligent audio, intelligent video, and seamless exchange of content, no matter where you're joining from, and the ability to ideate and brainstorm. So these are all really exciting AI developments that are coming to the forefront. The outcome, obviously, the value proposition here is to drive better, faster, effective meetings, get better business outcomes, measurable business outcomes, and then, of course, stronger CX and EX, stronger customer experience, stronger employee experience. And sustainability, as I mentioned earlier, is not an afterthought anymore. It is seeing meaningful momentum across all markets. Businesses are getting closely aligned with circular design principles. And that's not just being driven by corporate responsibility, it's also being driven by their customer demands. And so collaboration devices in particular are being built from the ground up with sustainability in mind. So, these are the big shifts, disruptive shifts that we are seeing. And with that, I will pass it on to Gautier, who will cover some of these in greater details.
Thanks a lot, Rupam. Very interesting, I would say, overview of the trends in the corporate workplace, especially also the data points, very revealing. And indeed, as you said, let's take it to the next level, talking about the investment priorities of IT managers, but what does it really mean in terms of technology? And therefore, I give the word to Gautier.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rupam, for your valuable insights. Now, for the second part, I'd like to take you back a little bit first, I would say 4 years ago. 4 years ago, or in the last 4 years, we've been from the one shift to the other, starting with enabling people to work at home, enabling them and educating them to use cloud conferencing tools such as Teams and Zoom and so on. After a couple of years, we were able to go back to the meeting rooms, back to the office. There was a whole question on how to get the equipment, what type of equipment, and so on. And once the meeting rooms were equipped and everything was there, there was a question on why would people return to the office? What's their drivers? What's the role of the office? And how should we change and accommodate the offices for new types of users and new types of interactions? Now, we see, and also we see that in the data that Rupam has provided us, that most of the companies have now come to a state where they have educated their users to use these cloud conferencing tools. They have gotten more proficient into what it means to equip a conference room. And many companies have also given a meaning and a purpose to their meeting rooms, but also their office spaces and the technology tools. This means that many companies are now at a point where they understand the bigger picture. They have an idea where they want to go to. So now is actually the time for investments, for planning, for shaping the office of tomorrow. And the good thing is that a lot of stuff is available. Also, Barco is here to help you with these type of things. And if you get it right and you are able to create a whole new way of working in your office, but also for your remote employees, there's a lot of benefits. You can improve the employee experience. You can help your employees to build seamless connections, and you will end up with an empowered and efficient workforce. Now, as Rupam said, collaboration technology, video enabling meeting rooms and office spaces is key, is even at the core of this transformation. The video first transformation has been set in motion, is continuing very strongly. We see there's still a lot of spaces that do require this, but the trend is clear, the trend is there, and this is not going to change in the future. Very important here is that the IT manager is a crucial stakeholder, because this goes beyond the devices, the equipment. This is about the tools, this is about the people, this is about the environment. Yeah, this is not just choosing the right manufacturer, choosing the right devices. This is about the technology investments in a broader scope for your meeting rooms, but also offices, desks, and so on. Now, we like to look at this and identify or say that there's two buyers to every solution. It's just like a toy. There's always two buyers. The kid wants the fancy, shiny thing that makes a lot of noise. The parent likes the toys to be safe, to be educational, and so forth. This is no different for video conferencing solutions. On the one hand, we have the end user who wants tools to enable them, to empower them, to help them in the workflows that they're doing, and that they don't need to struggle or learn or adapt towards. The IT manager, I would not say on the other hand, because these are also in his benefit, but the IT manager is especially looking for solutions that are reliable, secure, easy to manage, operable, interoperable, flexible, and of course also sustainable for their offices. If we zoom in into the end user, we can see that ease of use is really at the heart of the end user's concerns and what he's looking for. Yeah? If a solution is not easy to use, it will not be used by your end users. If your installation is not easy to use, the end user will dismantle it, will start using it in a different way, and you'll end up with a whole mess. This is something where we at ClickShare have been focusing relentlessly on. This is almost an obsession for what we do. There's a lot of things that we've been working on that you can see on the slide as well, but this is really a strong focus point for us, as we know that this drives adoption, this drives actual usage, and this drives both the empowerment, but also the efficiency and, well, the return on investment, basically, of this installation. Also, having a unified experience in all meeting rooms, enabling your users to continue their workflow and not have to adapt the way they work towards the meeting room, especially if that way of adapting does not need to change from one meeting room to the other, is really key when designing office spaces. Yeah? Look at how your users are working and then adapt the technology, adapt the solutions, adapt the meeting room installations. Yeah? If it's too complex to use, if it doesn't fit into the workflow of your end user, these rooms will not be used or will not be used as intended. And then there's a whole lot of stuff in there that, well, is basically useless. If we look at the IT manager, you see that although he has a focus, he or she has a focus on his end users, he or she has another set of requirements. And one of them is reliability. Reliability comes in three pieces. One is the high quality hardware. You don't want devices that start breaking down after a year, that are, well, not well manufactured. And this is also about security. This is about the support that you get, and so on. There is no solution today that does not come with a piece of software. So look for solutions that provide regular updates, not just to improve the experience and adapt to the other devices this piece needs to work with, but also to enhance the security and the stability of your products. Yeah? Also, up to you then, of course, installing and maintaining this equipment is key, and the ease of doing so is an important factor to consider when selecting devices, equipment, and so on. And then the user is at the heart of the experience. And this is part of your reliability, because any solution that is not easy to use or that has a steep learning curve will be considered to, well, simply not work by your end users. And you will start getting complaints, tickets, and so on, that, well, basically that room, that office space, that desk is not working. So think about your user. Reliability is in the ease of use as well. The more easy it is to use, the less it will be, let's say, broken. Smart and secure investment, they're really look into the security. This is more important than ever. And although I would say many manufacturers and brands will claim that they are secure, go and look for proof points. Certifications are an important mark, label that you can use to see if they have the right processes, the right teams, the right way of working to not only deliver a secure product, but also to keep products secure as the world evolves. So this is not just design, but also into updates, firmware updates, and so on. Personal data, especially when you are using tools to collaborate, to share information, to share knowledge, and to share sometimes even personal things, it is incredibly important that your personal data is well treated, securely stored, and not shared to other parties, countries, and so on. And of course, the more you can tweak, the more you can adapt these solutions to your environment, the better it will be secured and the better you can manage it. Looking at interoperability, this is basically allowing any meeting room, any space to be used by any user. So this is about the workflow of your users. Many users, especially given the last 4 years, have adapted to a working style that surrounds or that is around their laptop. They have become accustomed to this device, they know how to use it, and they can actually handle quite some complexity and different setup tools from their laptop itself. Looking at your conferencing solutions, looking at the interoperability is key, because your users, your company never works alone. You work with other teams, you work with other companies, you work with other providers, partners, and so on. They might have different tools. Knowing or making sure that your users can use this, can be efficient, and can work together, can collaborate with these different tools is also very important when looking at your office spaces and your meeting rooms. And then it's about your workplace. And the important thing to understand there is that there is never going to be a single provider of the entire solution. Interoperability between devices, between vendors, between platforms is more important than ever. And you really want that security, that whatever you have installed, whatever you are using in your company will continue to work and will continue to remain interoperable. This is where with ClickShare, for example, we have been focusing enormously on our partnership program, testing devices, interoperability, making sure that after every firmware update from any of the vendors or from ClickShare, things continue to work and your meeting rooms remain operational is very important for any equipment and any devices you install in your company. Configuration, installation, and management, as we said, firmware updates more and more, tweaking security, tweaking integrations, and so on will need to happen on not just one type of device, but multiple devices. So look for these vendors, look for these devices that enable easy access, easy management, and interoperability on that layer as well. This will be key to managing the complexity, the amount of devices, and the scale of this technology in your company today and even more in the future. And then last, but certainly not least, is sustainability. Your employees are asking for it, your customers care for it. This is something which cannot be underscored enough. Looking for solutions where this is helping you or that are helping you to achieve your own goals of sustainability with the company is something that's going to be key when selecting all sorts of equipment, but also tools and I would almost say even furniture and stuff like that. Yeah. So there also look for proof. There's audit labels. There is proof points that can be found on the vendors' websites. There are organizations that will check or certify these type of things. Greenwashing, I would say, which should be a thing of the past. So really look for these type of things. Now, it is key for us to highlight these things. And together with Rupam and FutureSource, we've been looking a little bit or a lot even into what is important for our customers, what is important to achieve, where do we need to adapt or where we want to go. And it is no surprise that we see ClickShare as a part of the office of tomorrow and of the solutions that you need to have into your office space. Of course, we don't cover everything. We mainly focus on meeting rooms, conference rooms, tool huddle spaces, but we certainly believe that ClickShare is a key component in any office of the future. ClickShare enables you to equip different types of rooms, going from empty rooms where you can start enabling or putting equipment in, existing rooms where you want to either refurbish or add video conferencing or other types of equipment, or even fixed rooms where you have already installed a Teams room system or something else. There is a ClickShare that you can add there. There is a way to add that flexibility, not just of content sharing, but also enabling people to work from their laptop, to bring their own device, to host the conferences from their own devices, and to really scale video conferencing into any type of meeting room. Never to forget, and this is what ClickShare really focuses around, are these 4 pillars. So ClickShare, we really put you at the heart of the experience. And you, either the IT manager or the end user, is what drives our development and what drives us going forward. ClickShare aims to make your life easy, where even in meeting rooms, there's more and more technology. So making access or bringing this to the end users in a more easy way really drives that adoption of video conferencing, really improves your hybrid meetings and hybrid collaboration. ClickShare empowers you, which is by doing the little things. We enable you to work the way you want. We enable you to do video conferencing in a very easy way. We empower you to do your job of management, of installing, and so on. So this is also one of the key focus points for ClickShare. ClickShare is built around, we talked about it in the previous points already, we don't look to optimize or change the way you work. We look at how you work, we look at how people work most efficiently, and we build tools around that to enable them and to empower them and really bring the collaboration to a next level. And then we have you covered, not just by bringing ease of use, by making sure systems are stable, secure, and manageable, but also in terms of the warranty we bring, and so on. This concludes my part. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you also, Rupam, for bringing this data and these insights. And I will now give the word back to Yannick.
Thank you, Gauthier. Very interesting. And indeed, as you said, it's key to make that workplace experience a top-notch experience where everybody is the center of everything. Also, I want to thank again Rupam for your nice contribution and for giving us the highlights of what is going in of the trends in the overall workplace. Also, I want to thank the audience. Also, thank you for the questions that we are replying now. Please note that for a couple of minutes, if you have questions, we will be replying them in the chat. And for those who are really intrigued by the data points, by the insights provided by Frost and Sullivan, we are giving that exclusively to our ClickShare audience. So it's available. I think we will make the link in the chat, but also as a thank you for listening today, we will send you an email as a follow-up where you can download a very interesting Frost and Sullivan report. So thanks a lot and see you next time for a next webinar.
Thank you.